Howdy, here we are again today at the start of a new project, something completely different and new. Today I'm going to attempt to make my first ever dress for my wife. Here I have a bunch of new fabric, obviously dress cutting scissors, chalk, some pins, tape measure, my trusty glasses, pencil, new sewing machine and an iron. So I'll be modelling loosely on a bunch of different dresses of my wife's. Plus I got some measurements from her yesterday and I'll be taking measurements later. And I'm going to roughly copy the dresses as I say and get my patterns off that, but I'm going to improvise as well. So here we go. Before I start, I just wanted you to see the fabric in its unmade state. Honest, I'm about to do it. Well, I hope I am. Fingers crossed. So I'm going to do it in two sections. One is the skirt section, one is the upper part. So what I've done is you iron it over once. See, that's one ironed seam there. And then you fold it over and iron it a second time. I'm just going to have to iron that a bit better. And then in a minute, I'm going to sew that along there. And then attach the elastic, do something similar at the other end and attach the elastic. So it's going to be basically a tube. This is going to come round in like a great big tube, and one end is going to be tightened with the elastic and the other end is going to be loose. And that should hopefully give, so that'll be like the bottom of the skirt, let's say, and then the top of the skirt will be here cinched in with the elastic. And then I'll figure out how to make the top part of the dress. So I'll get sewing, ironing and sewing. So, I have sewed the bottom hem after ironing a double fold. I've ironed another double fold here. Okay, a double fold there. And that is going to fit, the elastic is going to get sewed inside it. Now in a minute. One more thing. The length of the, let's call it the skirt waistband, is currently 1.20 meters. The length of the elastic is going to be roughly 80. So what I've done is I've measured the 80 into quarters and put little marks on the quarter points and the half. And then I've also measured quarters with chalk on there. So that's 120, that's 80, but they're both quarters. So I'm going to pull on the elastic as I sew and hope that then that makes it the correct consistency all around on the waistband. Let's see. There we go. So I had to pull the elastic tight. I left a bit poking out at the start and then pulled it tight and did a quarter at a time. So I was kind of using two hands, one hand, the left hand there and the right hand here, pulling it lengthwise, and then I used a zigzag stitch to catch the little zigzag underneath the straight stitch that I did earlier just to hold the hem. That's it. Okay, so the skirt is finished, though I'm told it may be too short, and I'll probably put an extra bit of a ruffle or something, a length at the bottom of it at the end. But for now, I'm moving on to the top of the dress. So you need to put cuts or darts or slits for the breast area. So I've taken plenty of measurements, and as you can see, that's cut there and that's cut there. And if you experiment with a piece of paper and put slits in it, you can make a cone. So like this is theoretically meant to make a cone, if that makes sense. The breast area. So let's say I'm gonna do some sewing now, and this is the start of the top. So here we are. Those darts or plaits or whatever you want to call them have been sewn in, one on each side, and I'll just show the other side. Rightly or wrongly, I put, after doing the initial seam, I put a little overlock stitch thingy which hopefully won't be in the way, but it's to stop it fraying. So there we go. That's the front part of the top. And you can see I already sewed the hem at the bottom. And I'm roughly modelling it on one of my wife's existing dresses, which is like that. One second now. Something like that, but I'm using existing dresses to get shapes and model them. Okay, and you can see here on this existing dress here, see the darts on the front there, the darts or folds, whatever they're called. One sec. So here we are again. Note, I think they're called darts for the front. Now what I did, notice it's tapered from thinner at the bottom and going up. You know, like that's going to be sewed onto the waist of the skirt, and that's going to be the top just under the arms, and then there are going to be 2 straps on there. But note, look, so front there are 2 darts, and then I sewed them together. This is going to make a big seam, but look, I'm just a beginner, so you know, whatever. It's 2 pieces sewed together. I'm going to turn that, but that's the whole top of the dress. This is the back of the dress. That's the front of the dress, and it's going to be sewed onto the skirt bit, and then straps, and fingers crossed. So that's where we're up to. Many hours later, many sets of measurements and unpicking later, the skirt has been sewed onto the top, and note the pleats or tucks there. And I hope this style of a join-up is okay. It was very difficult. All that's left is the straps. And then a final fitting and final measurement. Watch this space, fingers crossed. Tailoring, dressmaking is not for the faint-hearted. What a great challenge for someone who loves a challenge, OMG. So there it is, maybe finished. Straps. They're about 6 centimeters wide, and I folded them over on each other so that I could sew the hem, the seam in with a zigzag stitch. So I made those 2 straps, put them in with about 5 or 6 centimeters, and that's it. Maybe that's perfect. If it's too short, that's up to herself. I'll have to put a frill ruffle thingy on the edge to make it more respectable. Let's see. Maybe not. We'll see. Fingers crossed. But we'll see herself when she's back, and hopefully she'll love it.
Hi, Fran.
And again.
Hi, love.
Hi, baby. That's a lovely dress. Give us a little twirl, my sweet.
Thank you, baby. Thank you, my love. It's lovely.
What a great dress. Yay!
Yay!